Recently, I've been addicted to this new anime TPS called Strinova. It released November 21st, and it's kind of like CSGO and Valorant, except it's anime, and you can do this. That's right, your waifu can now be 2D and 3D. You want to hear the best part? I don't even play any waifus in this game. I just play a shotgun-slinging, freedom-loving character named Baimo, and he's going to be the focus of today's video. Since 90% of my playtime has been spent playing this character, I figured it'd be a good idea to stop wasting my time and actually do something. It's not what it looks like. So I'm making a starter guide to help people learn him more efficiently. Now let's have a little bit of fun and get into it. First and foremost, Baimo's unique weapon is called the Freedom Rain. As the game description describes, the Freedom Rain is highly reliable. Freedom Rain is a highly reliable. Freedom Rain is a As the game description describes, Freedom Rain is highly reliable and durable. This semi-automatic combat shotgun features ghost ring sights for improved accuracy, equipped with a 1.25x scope. In Baimo boy talk, this means, yeah, come over freedom. Now, being one of the only two shotgunners in the game, Baimo usually wants to take close one-sided fights. This means mostly taking fights where Baimo gets the first hit, or is against a vulnerable long-range target like Coconut. If you take on a head-on fight with an assault rifle without properly closing the distance before engaged, then more times than not, you're just gonna die. And yes, technically you can outplay, but it's more difficult than it looks. This is because of two reasons. First, assault weapons can typically just track your movement and just hold down the shoot button. Second, a shotgun's effective range in this game is kind of trash. You can stand here and hit for 100, or you can stand 5 meters back and hit for 5. And there is a sort of workaround, but I'll save that for where I talk about builds. Besides that, when you combine these two factors, any fight that is slightly too far away, you're just gonna get bodied. With that said, you do have a variety of outplay tools such as jumping and stringifying, which is just turning 2D. And Baimo has a specific outplay ability called Blitz Waltz. Once again, using the in-game description, using this ability zooms Baimo forward and automatically reloads the shotgun with 2 cells. Its cooldown refreshes on kills and assists. Once again, in Baimo boy terms, free kill, and I'm dead. The trick with this ability is to use it to either get a kill and assist, or get the fuck away from a dangerous spot. You don't want to be stranded in the middle of a team without this ability, since this ability is what makes Baimo good.
No.
Hello there.
Wait.
Defenders win.
You can go in, kill a low HP target or Coconut, and then get out with the cooldown reset, or go to another target to get another kill and assist. When this ability is awakened to the third awakening, then it's especially strong, but we'll talk about that later. Next up on the list is Baimo's ultimate, Street Fighter. Think about this ult like Phoenix's ult from Valorant. Essentially, you have a timed respawn point. You run onto the point, try to get a frag or 2 before you die. Upon dying or getting down, or recasting the ult, Baimo will snap back to the respawn point with no shields and 100 HP. Sounds simple, and that's because it is. The only concern is if you run low on HP, don't die, and use up your ult time, you don't automatically snap back at the end of the timer. Instead, you will simply keep whatever damage you've incurred and have a 50-50 chance to be in this position if you aren't careful. I have died plenty of time to this exact scenario, and perhaps it is because I play Phoenix and Valorant that I'm so used to snapping back, but it's just another thing to remember. In addition to that, you need to make sure that when you use your ult, you put it in a safe spot, somewhere where it's secure with your team. Otherwise, if you snap back and, yep. The last ability is the simplest. Baimo's passive is called Dance Shackle. It makes it easier to hit opponents by disabling their Stringify ability. This is called String Balking. It procs every time you deal 50 damage with a single shot, and frankly, it's not that hard to hit. And with that, I think that's everything in Baimo's kit we need to talk about. Now, Baimo has a pretty simple default build path. It goes in this order: increase bullets, light regen shield, cooldown reduction, stringify movement speed, string damage, either ammo varying, spread control, and then duration plus 0.5 seconds. This build is fairly standard and plays into Baimo's game plan, which is get close and fight fast. With that said, there could be some changes that you can make. For ammo, I prefer reload speed, but magazine capacity is just as good. For survivability, it wouldn't be the worst thing if you switch Stringify movement for the Stringify damage reduction. Those are the big two that you can change, and it doesn't make too much of a difference. For functions, blitz rolls, and critical hit, their abilities spread control, cooldown reduction, and string damage are simply better than sprint speed, 2x auto reload, and effective range in most cases. With all that said, there is a build out there that changes how you would need to play Baimo fundamentally. Remember when I was talking about range and I mentioned there was a better build for range? Well, this other build is that build. The single shot mode, also known as the slug mode, which is not what I will be calling it, and instead I will be calling it SS mode, is the solution. By switching increased bullet for SS mode, freedom range changes from a close range shotgun to a mid-range semi-automatic rifle. I remember seeing this build on Steam or Reddit or something, and you know. Now with that said, the build doesn't sound that good, and to be honest, I'm kinda right. There are 3 fundamental factors that make this build just that much different. The first is the aim. You need to focus on aim a lot more with SS mode. If you were to use Baimo normally while using this mode, you're gonna have a difficult time trying to aim since you're dashing and jumping at close range. Not to say it's impossible, but this fact is gonna make it a lot harder to be consistent. The second factor, which kind of ties back to the first, is the damage output. You do less damage with SS mode close range. With increased bullet, I can 2-shot this dummy from close to semi-medium range on any body part, but any farther, I'll struggle to kill them with a full mag. Compare that to SS mode. At 3 shots for body shots and 2 shots for headshots at every range. This means, with increased bullet close range, you can focus a lot less on aiming and more on dodging, but you'll struggle at long range. Or you can use SS mode and have constant kill pressure at any range, but you'll have to focus on aiming a lot more. The final factor is the ability synergy. Normally, Baimo is what you would call a space taker. He wants to dash in and steal enemy space. This often means you'll be at close range. If you take SS mode, your role will change, but your abilities won't. SS mode Baimo is more of a team fighter. He wants to get frags with the team and uses blitz waltz to reposition quickly. And though this works, I feel it's just not optimal. I'm sure SS mode Baimo is viable. That says variable. I'm sure SS mode Baimo is viable, but it's just not my cup of tea. With that said, here's my recommendation for an SS mode Baimo. SS mode, light regen shield, cooldown reduction -5, stringify damage reduction, effective range, magazine capacity, sprint speed, and duration plus 0.5. Now with all that technical jargon out of the way, we can go back to having fun Awakenings, right. Quick explanation for awakenings. Each upgrade has a symbol. By matching the symbol to an awakening that you can find at the bottom of the shop, you can awaken an upgrade for an ability. For Baimo, the A1 is Graffiti Blast, which makes the screen all creamy for your opponent when you proc Dance Shackle. The other 2 awakenings are Blitz Waltz. You can choose between A2 and A3. A2, called Ink Charge, is great for semi-blinding a group. When using A2's Blitz Waltz, you can splash ink close to where you land. It's low-key kinda garbage. A3 in the definitively better awakening is called Trickster. It creates a clone and turns you invisible while blitz waltzing. This awakening greatly increases your outplay potential as opponents can easily lose track of you. Now I'm done with explanations and abilities. God. This is simple, so I'll keep it brief. Healing Grenade is basically mandatory. You want to fight a lot, and honestly, you could just get so much usage out of healing yourself and your teammates. Decent secondary grenades are Smoke, my preferred, Frag, Tattletale for defense, and Flash. Secondary weapons, I recommend the Stinger and Athena. Both are great for finishing kills. And with that short section out of the way, it's time for... As we all know, Baimo is a close-range fighter. He wants to avoid any long-range encounter, so we need to know how to reach our preferred target. Coconut. Now, getting to the back line can often be quite difficult if approached head-on. We need ways to bypass the front line. First, and the most obvious way, is to flank. By flanking, we get direct access to their precious coconut. Sweet, sweet coconut.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Now with that said, flanking does carry some risk. On offense, you risk running into another opponent, whether they're rotating or gatekeeping coconut for themselves like greedy pigs. And this encounter is unknown until it happens, or doesn't. And on defense, coconut will be on your team, and you can't shoot a teammate. I tried. So I guess we'll settle for killing this coconut wannabe. When flanking on defense, you risk the same as on offense, except the rotating player could also be the rotating team, and if you're not fast enough on the flank, your team gets wiped and you're doing a 1v5. So don't spam flanks unless they're going flawlessly. Another way to get the coconut, or this coconut wannabe, is to punish an opponent's flank or push. Find a good spot to hide on a wall and wait for the unsuspecting target. Just hope you don't get scammed. There's 2 more general game plans for Baimo. This plan is generally more offensive, but entry fragging. Baimo, in my opinion, isn't the best entry, but he can manage. The issue with being the first one on site is that Baimo is a high value target for the enemy team. So if an opponent is set up, they're easily going to pick off Baimo. Throwing a smoke or frag grenade before entry can help, but pushing through some opponents, particularly Michelle, can be difficult. Thankfully, with the help of an agent like Ming, who can push opponents out of corners and sneaky little spots, Baimo is much more effective. The last game plan is lurking. It's similar to the wait and ambush tactic, but it's more aggressive. Baimo is one of the best lurkers due to his time to kill in close range being high. And unfortunately, lurking is a method that requires a lot of game sense and is very situational. And I'll be honest, I'm a little too lazy to explain it, so if you ever need an explanation, I mean, you're on YouTube, you can find any video. It doesn't even need to be from Strinova, any game works, it's the same concept. With that said, there's only one thing to cover left. I'm kind of getting sick of talking, so here's a quick tier list. At S, we have Crunchy Street. Don't even know if that's how you say it, but I don't care. I love this map, it's pretty good. Next up, we have Area 88. It's alright, I guess. After that, Base 404. It's a B tier. Solid enough, I guess. Next, Cosmite, and I absolutely hate this map, is going to C. Port Euler, I actually kind of like this map. A. Space Lab C, and Windy Town B. And after that, that's it. That's all you needed to know for Baimo. Appreciate you watching to the end. I don't usually make this type of content for Strinova. Usually I'm a Monster Hunter guy, but decided to make a video on something I've been really playing recently. Maybe the game will blow up and I could be a pro. Probably not. With that said, if you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and yeah. Maybe another Strinova video, maybe Monster Hunter. We'll see how this video does. Till next time, goodbye.